Picture this, August 2016. A mysterious message appears on the internet that will change everything we thought we knew about cyber warfare. The message is written in broken English. It's crude, it's threatening, and it comes with proof that someone has stolen the most dangerous digital weapons ever created. This is the story of the Shadow Brokers, the most mysterious hack in history. Deep beneath the surface of the internet, a war has been raging for decades. At the heart of this invisible conflict sits a building in Fort Meade, Maryland, the National Security Agency headquarters. Inside this fortress, 1,000 elite hackers work in absolute secrecy. They call themselves Tailored Access Operations, TAO for short. Think of them as digital special forces. For over 20 years, TAO has been building the ultimate cyber arsenal. Tools with names that sound like science fiction: Eternal Blue, Dander Spritz, Double Pulsar, Eternal Romance. But these aren't just programs, they're weapons of mass destruction. Digital bombs that can bring entire countries to their knees. Eternal Blue was their masterpiece, a skeleton key that could unlock almost any computer on Earth. It worked by exploiting a flaw in Windows that even Microsoft didn't know existed. Imagine every Windows computer as a house with a locked door. Eternal Blue was like having a universal key that opened every single one of those doors, silently, invisibly, without the owner ever knowing someone had walked inside. Dander Spritz was the command center, a sophisticated control panel that looked more like a video game than hacking software. Point, click, own any computer in the world. But the most powerful cyber weapons in history were about to escape, and it all started with one man's dangerous obsession. Harold Martin was 52 years old, a Navy veteran, an NSA contractor living in a modest home in Glen Burnie, Maryland. To his neighbors, he was just another government worker, quiet, kept to himself. But Harold had a secret. He couldn't stop taking classified documents home. For 3 years, from 2012 to 2015, Harold smuggled out terabytes of the NSA's most sensitive files. Not to sell them, not to betray his country. He just collected them, like some people collect stamps. 50 terabytes of classified data, the largest theft of government secrets in American history. Documents scattered through his house, his shed, even his car. His wife had no idea. Then there was Nguyen Pho, 68 years old, Vietnamese American. He'd been working on TAO's most sensitive projects for nearly a decade, and he made one fatal mistake. He installed Kaspersky antivirus software on his home computer, the same computer where he kept classified NSA files. What happened next would change everything. Kaspersky wasn't just any antivirus company, it was Russian. And their software was designed to automatically scan computers for suspicious files. When it found something interesting, it sent copies back to Kaspersky's servers for analysis. On September 11, 2014, Pho's computer lit up Kaspersky's systems like a Christmas tree. The software had found something extraordinary: 37 NSA hacking tools, top-secret documents, the crown jewels of American cyber warfare, all automatically uploaded to servers that Russian intelligence could access. But it gets worse. Pho's computer was already compromised. He'd disabled his antivirus to install pirated software. Russian criminals had installed a backdoor called Smokebot. His computer was crawling with malware. Israeli spies who had hacked into Kaspersky's network watched in real time as Russian operatives searched for NSA materials. They used keywords like equation group and top secret. The Americans' most carefully guarded secrets were leaking out through multiple channels, and nobody at the NSA had any idea.
August 13th, 2016, 9:57 a.m. Eastern Time. A Twitter account nobody had ever heard of posted a message that would terrify intelligence agencies around the world. Attention government sponsors of cyber warfare and those who profit from it. How much you pay for enemies' cyber weapons. The message was signed, the Shadow Brokers. The name itself was a clue. It came from Mass Effect, a video game about an intergalactic information broker who dealt in the most dangerous secrets in the universe. But this wasn't a game. The shadow brokers claimed they had hacked the hackers. They said they'd stolen cyber weapons from the group that created Stuxnet, the legendary virus that destroyed Iranian nuclear centrifuges. And they had proof. The broken English seemed deliberate. Too deliberate. Experts later concluded the writers were probably native English speakers trying to sound foreign. The mistakes were too consistent, too calculated. We follow equation group traffic. We find equation group source range. We hack equation group. We find many, many equation group cyber weapons. They weren't just making threats. They were putting the weapons up for auction. 1 million Bitcoin. That's what they were asking. About $500 million at the time. For that price, they promised to hand over the complete collection of NSA cyber weapons. Tools that had taken decades and billions of dollars to develop. More proof files are being included, they wrote. Price is 1 million Bitcoin, or give away for free if we getting 1 million Bitcoin total. But something strange happened. Despite releasing sample files that proved they were telling the truth, nobody bid. Days turned into weeks. The auction raised just over 10 Bitcoin, less than $6,000. The shadow brokers were furious. The shadow brokers is realizing people's is not thinking auction is being real. This is just being typical dumbass mentality. By Halloween, they'd given up on making money. Instead, they started giving away secrets for free. Lists of targets, domain names, IP addresses, everything the NSA had been watching. The intelligence community was in full panic mode. In January 2017, the shadow brokers announced they were disappearing. Continuing is being much risk and bullshit, not many Bitcoins, they wrote. For 3 months, silence. Then, Donald Trump ordered missile strikes on Syrian airfields that Russian forces were using. The shadow brokers returned with a vengeance. This is partially in response to President Trump's attack against a Syrian airfield, which was also used by Russian forces, they announced. They released a password, a long, complex string of characters that unlocked files they'd posted months earlier. But that was just the beginning. On April 14, 2017, they dropped their nuclear bomb, the complete Eternal Blue toolkit. Everything the NSA had spent years developing. Handed over to anyone with an internet connection. May 12, 2017, a date that will live in cyber infamy. 28 days after the shadow brokers released Eternal Blue, someone weaponized it. They called their creation WannaCry, and it lived up to its name. The attack began in Europe. Hospital computers in Britain started shutting down, then Asia, then America. Within hours, a digital pandemic was spreading faster than any virus the world had ever seen. 230,000 computers, 150 countries, all infected in a single day. This wasn't like other computer viruses. Those needed you to click on something, open an email, download a file. WannaCry was different. It jumped from computer to computer all by itself, like a digital wildfire. Britain's National Health Service collapsed. 81 hospitals went dark. Nurses calculated medication doses by hand. Surgeons operated without patient records. Ambulances raced from hospital to hospital, looking for emergency rooms that still worked. The ransom message was simple, terrifying. Your files are encrypted. Payment is required to decrypt your files. Your payment will be raised every 6 hours. $300 in Bitcoin. Pay up or lose everything forever. Then something miraculous happened. A 22-year-old British researcher named Marcus Hutchins was analyzing the malware when he noticed something strange. The virus was trying to contact a very long, nonsensical website address. On a whim, he registered the domain name, and WannaCry stopped spreading. He'd accidentally found the kill switch. One purchase of a $20 website domain saved the world from digital catastrophe. But the nightmare wasn't over. June 27, 2017, Ukraine. Another attack using Eternal Blue erupted from a small software company in Kyiv, but this one was different, deadlier. They called it NotPetya, and unlike WannaCry, it wasn't designed to make money, it was designed to destroy. NotPetya didn't just encrypt your files and ask for ransom, it wiped them completely. Even if you paid, you'd never get your data back. This was digital destruction on industrial scale. The attack spread like lightning. Ukraine's government systems crashed. Banks shut down. Even the Chernobyl nuclear power plant's radiation monitoring system went offline. But NotPetya didn't respect borders. Within hours, it had escaped Ukraine and was devastating companies worldwide. Maersk, the Danish shipping giant, lost $300 million. Their entire global network of ports and ships went dark for weeks. Merck, the pharmaceutical company, suffered $870 million in damages, months of manual operations. FedEx lost $400 million. The attack crippled their European operations for the rest of the year. In total, NotPetya caused over $10 billion in damage, the most destructive cyber attack in history. And it all started with Eternal Blue, the NSA weapon that the shadow brokers had given away for free. Who were the shadow brokers? After all this destruction, after all this chaos, we still don't know for certain. The evidence points to Russia, the timing of their posts, the political messaging, the sophisticated tradecraft, but the shadow brokers covered their tracks perfectly. Edward Snowden called it probably a warning that someone can prove responsibility for any attacks, a kind of digital blackmail. Attack us and we'll reveal your capabilities to the world. Harold Martin, the NSA contractor who hoarded secrets, was arrested on August 27, 2016. FBI agents stormed his house with battering rams and flashbang grenades. Neighbors heard the explosions from blocks away. But here's the problem. The shadow brokers kept posting while Martin was in jail, which means he wasn't their only source, or maybe not their source at all. Martin pleaded guilty in 2019, 9 years in prison for the largest theft of classified information in American history. His lawyer insisted he never meant to harm his country. He was just a collector who couldn't stop collecting. Jake Williams, a former NSA hacker who analyzed the shadow brokers' releases, became one of their targets. They outed him publicly as an Equation Group member, forcing him to cancel international travel and reconsider his personal security. "I am definitely at their mercy for what it is that they choose to release," Williams said. A former NSA operator, now afraid of the shadows his old agency once controlled. Today, years after the shadow brokers vanished, their legacy lives on. Eternal Blue is still out there, still spreading, still destroying. As of 2025, security companies are still blocking millions of Eternal Blue attacks every month. The weapon the NSA created to spy on terrorists and foreign governments has become the favorite tool of criminals, ransomware gangs, and hostile nations. The shadow brokers proved something terrifying about cyber warfare. Unlike conventional weapons, cyber weapons can be copied infinitely, shared endlessly. Once they escape, there's no putting them back in the box. The NSA spent decades building these tools, billions of dollars, thousands of hours, all destroyed in a single leak. But the real damage goes deeper. Trust between allies shattered. Intelligence operations burned. The balance of cyber power shifted forever. In October 2017, the shadow brokers posted their final message. They complained about lack of attention, threatened to release more secrets, promised monthly dumps for paying subscribers. Then they disappeared, completely, forever.
The 10 Bitcoin they'd earned from their failed auction was withdrawn and laundered without a trace. Their accounts went cold. The most mysterious hacker group in history simply faded away. Did they accomplish their mission? Were they Russian intelligence sending a message to Washington? Rogue NSA employees with a conscience? Cyber criminals who got in over their heads? We may never know. What we do know is this: the shadow brokers changed everything. They showed the world that America's cyber weapons could become America's greatest vulnerability, that the tools designed to protect us could be turned against us. In our connected world, where everything from hospitals to power plants depends on computers, the shadow brokers revealed a terrifying truth. The most dangerous enemy might not be a foreign army or a terrorist cell. It might be the very weapons we built to defend ourselves. The shadows are still out there, still watching, still waiting. And the next time they emerge, we might not be so lucky.